Yes, you're welcome to start.
A very good morning and welcome to the Proudly South African Business Digitalization for Growth through the Fourth Industrial Revolution Inclusion webinar. My name is Nzinga Kunta. I'm a business news anchor and I'm so pleased to be your moderator at this discussion that will look at the concerns and opportunities for South Africa in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Today's seminar has been convened by Proudly South African to deliberate on the integration of the Fourth Industrial Revolution in business. It also aims to equip Proudly South African members with a competitive edge and prepare them for the opportunities that are there in the modern market. So McKinsey describes the Fourth Industrial Revolution as the next phase in digitization of the manufacturing sector that's driven by disruptive trends that include, among others, the rise of data and connectivity, analytics, human-machine interaction, and improvement in robotics. That's almost verbatim from McKinsey. But what does that mean broadly and more specifically for those of us in South Africa? Well, Professor Lanre Singre at the Brooks Institute says the potential of the Fourth Industrial Revolution in Africa is massive, and that potential includes, but is not limited to, encouraging economic growth and structural transformation. They say at the Brooks Institute that he works at that the amount of jobs created in mobile technologies and services is 1.7 million direct jobs, and about 8.5% of GDP of sub-Saharan Africa has been contributed there. So we can see that immense potential for growth. There's so much to be said about what can be done to thrive. But in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, companies must be prepared so that people who work for them are properly skilled and capacitated with the right equipment as well. That presents a challenge for those of us in South Africa. Naledi Ngabela wrote in the Mail and Guardian that a survey by Statistics South Africa found that only 10.4% of households in the country have access to internet at home, while only 22% of households owned computers or laptops. So much still needs to be done in order to take advantage of the Fourth Industrial Revolution with a specific view to skills and infrastructure. To help us understand what must be done, on our panel today is Mr. Eustace Mashimbie. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Proudly South African, a qualified financial accountant with over 17 years of experience in accounting and financial management in both the public and private sectors. From the Department of Trade, Industry and Cooperation, currently responsible for research, the development of strategies and plans for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, Ms. Nokubalale Mkhunu. From Microsoft, Lebogang Madise, Azure GTM Manager, Sales Enablement and Operations. She's described as an entrepreneur who enjoys co-creating with people from multidisciplinary backgrounds. From Koitech, an African technology business offering that specializes in consumer electronics and related software, Tato Mangwe, who's the Brand Development Director, and from Google, Mr. Sipho Mtombeni, Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager. His role involves engaging with government on issues related to policy and legislation in South Africa and Southern Africa. I'm so looking forward to hearing from all our participants in this virtual room and also those joining us online. Just a reminder of our handles on Twitter, it's @ProudlySA. On Instagram, it's @proudly.sa. If you're on Facebook, it's Proudly South African, the hashtag for today's conversation, and always buy local to create jobs. CEO, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Nzinga. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good morning to fellow panelists, to the delegates who are on the call today. We really appreciate you taking time to join us this morning. We know people are webinar fatigued. We know people are generally fatigued because of this time of the year, but you took time to join us this morning. My role is quite simple this morning, is to introduce you to the Proudly South African campaign and to give you a sense of who we are and why we do the things we do, including hosting webinars like this. And so maybe a good starting point is to refer to the slide that I have on screen. You can see there's an entrepreneur who is smiling because you've bought from her, standing at the door of her business, knowing that if no one walked through the doors of that business, she would close that business faster than it took her to set it up. And so that is why we exist, is to ensure that we support entrepreneurs and businesses, including large corporates, who make their products locally. And the reason why this campaign was formed back in 1998, and eventually opened its doors in 2001, was because of these persistent unemployment numbers that you see in the country. These are the numbers that came out recently, and for the end of Q3 of 2023, where we still have 7.8 million of our people who should be in jobs, who are not in jobs, who are actively looking for employment and can't find employment. Discouraged workers, 3.2, and others who Stats SA cannot necessarily tell us why they've stopped searching. But that all of that gives you a 11.7 million number of people who are unemployed in this country, and this is with a population of 62 million people as per the latest census. And so it's important that a campaign like this is supported, because in the main we support industries that have the ability to absorb as many people as possible. We support both products and services, but I thought for this morning I'll give a quick case study on an industry that all of us are familiar with. All of us have some sort of furniture in our businesses, in our homes. If you visit any hospitality facility, whether it's a hotel, a B&B, it's a lodge, imagine how much furniture is bought. If you go to any business, go to any office block, how much furniture is bought there. But still, we have an industry like this that has so much potential, still losing out on some of the procurement opportunities, and that has resulted in us losing the capacity that we have. We used to have 3,500 factories and plants making furniture in the country, reduced to 1,100. So all of that capacity has been lost. 50,000 direct jobs created by those who manufacture furniture, and we've lost half of those jobs. Only 25,000 jobs remain in this industry, and those are just the direct jobs. The other indirect jobs that are created, economics have taught us that there's a term called multiplier effect. It's the impact of one industry on other industries that feed into it. And if you think about furniture manufacturers, they rely on raw materials and components that come from other industries. And so when you don't buy furniture that is made in South Africa, jobs are lost in the furniture manufacturing business, but across the various industries and businesses that supply the raw materials, such as the metal parts and the natural fibers, hides and skins, the synthetic fibers, the paints and glues and adhesives that are utilized to make that furniture. And so it's important that we think of the impact of our purchasing decisions as those that will not only affect the actual manufacturers or service providers, but also those that are part of the entire value chain. And so our mandate is quite simple. We need to educate consumers on the importance of buying local, whilst also influencing the purchasing decisions that are made by the public sector and the private sector, such that those companies that make these jobs can make meaningful contribution to the creation of jobs. And this phenomenon is not unique to South Africa. It's a global one. We have buy local campaigns that exist for towns, countries, and even regions. And even on the African continent, we've seen the rise of a lot of buy local campaigns. In the US, they even have legislation, and I thought it would be a good case study for this morning to just quickly zoom in on the fact that they, as far back as 1933, issued an act that basically says not even one federal rand will be spent, federal dollar will be spent on any product or service, that they are able to render themselves as a service, or that they are able to produce themselves. So think of technology, because the conversation today is really about digitalization and digitization and the fourth industrial revolution. They're quite focused on ensuring that they support industries like that. We all know of the Silicon Valley and all of those ideas and entrepreneurs that come out of there. They're supported. The success of all of those entrepreneurs that come from that part of the world is as a result of the support that they get from their own. The US supports their own. And so if there's technology that is available in that country, they will support it and they will prioritize it. And that is why you have such well-documented trade wars between the US and the Chinese, because the US is saying, if there's any product that we make ourselves, we will not allow for that product to come from anywhere, else outside of the US. And the Chinese keep saying, we have the technology, we have the know-how, we have the products, we will want to sell them to you as the US, just like we try to explore any other market where their products will do well. And so it's a good case study to zoom into in terms of the success of the use of technology being supported by those that make purchasing decisions in that country, and seeing how successful it has been in terms of creating jobs and helping contribute to the betterment of that economy. And so it's important to support localization or local procurement or buying local, because it helps create jobs, it helps retain the jobs. Those entrepreneurs who will have created the jobs know that, as there is a need for them to produce more, because we are buying from them, they can then retain the jobs they've created, and in the process, whilst trying to meet demand, increase demand, they can then create new job opportunities, and those people will then acquire skills, and those companies will then contribute to the tax base of the country. You have then more people who are employed who can contribute to taxes, and it contributes to the increase in the GDP and improves the living standards of those who are buying local. Quick example as to why it's important to buy local and tried and tested, not by us, but independently by the Pan-African Investment and Research Services, where a study was done by Dr. Iraja Bedian and his team, and what they came back with is results that point to the fact that if you go and invest 10% more in manufacturing as a labor-intensive sector, together with all its subsectors, you can and 10% increase simply means 10% uptake of that increased uptake of that which we make in South Africa, including technology products. You are able to see a contribution of 13% to the GDP, a 9% increase in fiscal revenue, and in terms of number of jobs created, 75,300 new jobs will be created in manufacturing. Plus, if you think of the multiplier effect example I gave earlier on, in industries like mining and agriculture are part of the value chain, more jobs will be created. Then overall, 8% increase in employment creation. And so our focus as Proudly South African is really to look at buying that happens in the public sector, buying that happens in the private sector, to ensure that we influence that for the benefit of locally made products and services. And we need to educate the masses, the general public, on the importance of choosing that which is locally made when they make purchasing decisions. And lastly, you will see that a big focus of my presentation as I hasten towards the last bit of my presentation really focuses on how we promote accessibility of locally made products and services, because the public sector, the private sector, even consumers that are part of the general public might want to buy local, but might not necessarily know where to find the products. And so our role is to ensure that they can easily find those products. And so for companies that want to become members of Proudly South African, whether for purposes of your technology that is made in South Africa being taken to market, or your product, physical product being taken to market, if you want it to affiliate with us, to be registered with us, you have to tick these 4 boxes. The first one is the product itself must be made in South Africa. So local content basically means the raw materials and components that are utilized to produce the product are sourced locally. In instances where they are not sourced locally and they're brought in from outside, they're transformed into the final product in South Africa. So when you're talking about technology and other services, you want that which is utilized to produce that technology or to render that service to be as best as possible sourced in South Africa, so that jobs are created in the process. And quality is important, that these locally made products and services must meet the quality standards prescribed for that specific industry. And, they must be able to satisfy the need for which they are procured. And companies that affiliate with us have to ensure that they help us preserve the environment and they treat their workers fairly in accordance with the labor legislation. And so if you think of the business support ecosystem, there are all of these financial and non-financial support programs that exist both in the private sector and the public sector, which give entrepreneurs access to information, access to programs that help them with their productivity, that helps them comply with various statutory obligations, that help them register their IPO trademarks, or even help you access funding. But the most important in our view is access to markets. And so as Proudly South African, when you look at that ecosystem, the role we are meant to play is right at the heart of where the action happens around how your products are then taken to consumers, to the end users that you're targeting. And irrespective of whether you're coming with a new product, a new technology, whether you're a new entrant, and even as a transformed entity, we are able to support you as long as you tick all our boxes. And so I'm going to quickly focus on how we are utilizing technology as Proudly South African to achieve our goal of providing access to market opportunities for locally made products. And I thought I'll quickly touch on the fact that we have a strong focus on ensuring that those entrepreneurs who want to sell their products on e-commerce platforms, whether they are consumer-facing products or they're targeting other businesses, so as a B2B or a B2C product, we are able to provide all of these platforms for you. These are some of the partners we have, third-party sites and online stores where we have been able to conclude partnership agreements, and all of those products can be listed. These are just some of them. This is how Proudly SA products are exposed on one day only. This is how they look, and they are listed on there. And we've seen the numbers that came out this past weekend after Black Friday. The majority of sales made for Black Friday came from online stores. This is how the products look on Zulzi, which is a Proudly South African member and a partner, made by artisans. It's another partner. This is how the products are listed on there. On BizMed, which is a B2B, they're targeting to sell medical products as well as pharmaceutical products and everything health related on their platform, and it's targeted really at other businesses. This is how they list their products. Micro Marketplace lists them in this way. Loot has all of these other Proudly South African made products on their Bob Shop. And these are just some of the examples of how we are utilizing technology to help us achieve our objectives of ensuring that South Africans can easily access locally made products when wanting to buy. In terms of the private sector, we go out and we look for commitments. We ask the private sector to buy items like this. And a quick example, because in the interest of time, I'll just focus on one. We've asked the banks to look at where the furniture comes from, their uniform for their staff, the promotional material and stationery that they utilize, including the technology. The banks have told us that the bulk of their costings, the bulk of their expenditure goes towards technology. And so it's important that they start localizing even that. And we've created a portal and a platform which will serve the same purpose that the CSD serves in the public sector. Whereas a buyer from a corporate, you register yourself and you utilize it to find suppliers. So if you're looking for some sort of software, you are able to go onto that portal once registered as a buyer, do a search, it will give you a list of companies that you can start engaging that are part of the Proudly South African stable that have been vetted that you can then buy from. And so we have found ways to utilize available technology platforms to promote the buying of locally made products and to make them accessible. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we used our website as a portal for both consumers and the private sector to find products. If you went onto our website, you could find cloth, face masks, hand sanitizers, detergents, face shields, and all of those products that we required as a country to help us respond to the pandemic. We even created within that portal a section that dealt with medical PPE, and that's where we sent all the private hospitals and the mines and everyone else who required medical PPE to go and find the products that they required during that time. And a lot of procurement opportunities went to those members who listed on those portals and were found by buyers from both the public and the private sector. In terms of the public sector, we're integrating our database with the central supply database of National Treasury. So if you register with Proudly South African, your details are automatically listed there. And as a result, you are then found by buyers in the public sector. So those are just some of the examples of how, as an entity that utilizes, or as an entity that focuses on access to markets, utilizes technology to achieve our mandate, to achieve our objective. And we have hundreds of success stories. We report on about a minimum of 100 case studies of successes of businesses where we've been able to achieve, help them achieve their goals of growing their businesses, retaining jobs and creating jobs. And it's not expensive to be a member. I thought before I conclude, I must bring up this slide, there is perception that membership of Proudly South African is expensive. It's not. It's 500 rands if your turnover is less than 5 million rands per annum. And the most that companies that affiliate with us pay is 100,000 rands, and that is for companies with a turnover of 100 million rands and more. And as I conclude, Program Director, I want to quickly play a video which sort of, sums up the need for this campaign. I mean, what kind of economy we're going to pass on to the next generation. And so we've been talking about the importance of buying local ourselves as a campaign for many years. And now we thought we'll talk to consumers through the voices of the children who are then saying, what kind of economy are going to pass on to us? Will it be a jobless economy? And the foundation is to be laid now by us through our purchasing decisions. So let me quickly play the video so I can conclude.
There's a voice that is calling, loudly calling, day by day, the voice of the future.
When I started my business, all I wanted was to create jobs and a legacy for the next generation, because I see opportunity when others see impossibility.
It all started with a thought and then a seed in the garden, which grew into my very own farm that feeds the whole nation daily.
Cotton, silk, and a little bit of treasure, I create masterpieces that give South Africans an identity, comfort, and confidence, because when you look good, you feel good.
From the factory workers to the warehouse and then over the seas, I want to show the world what Proudly South African looks like. It all started with just some ink on paper and inspiration to bring people together. With my furniture, I now help create spaces that are beautiful, comfortable, and authentic to human light and connection.
I've always been driven by curiosity. It fueled my dreams to create automobiles that accelerate our nation into greater possibilities and the beauty of the unknown.
I was born into a rainbow nation. My life has been full of colors and mixed flavors. And when I started my bakery, I wanted to share the joy with the world and with South Africans in particular.
All I ever dreamt of was to be a bird and fly high. And now I have the wings to help others fulfill their dreams of flying high too.
But it can only be a dream until you make it a reality. All they need is your faith, your trust, your loyalty, your appreciation.
And most importantly,
Your support.
because supporting local businesses
Helps create jobs
And secures our future.
South Africa, their future is in your hands. So what are you going to do about it? Be proudly South African. Buy local to create jobs.
And that is our latest ad. And the call to action is quite simple. It's quite straightforward. Be Proudly South African, buy local to create jobs. And the economy is really in all our hands. And if you want to become a member of Proudly South African, please reach out to us, info@proudlysa.co.za. Go into our website, proudlysa.co.za, go to the membership tab, complete all your details, take up membership, list your technology solutions with us so that we can help you, take your products to the market utilizing the various online tools we have. Thank you very much, Program Director. I appreciate the opportunity given to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO. I think I am having, there we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Mashimbye, the CEO of Proudly South African, just giving us that context about the socioeconomic situation in South Africa that necessitates buying local. I really enjoyed the fact that you gave us a global overview as well, especially with that United States case study about the importance of buying local, but also I think how Proudly South African is using technology to assist business owners in South Africa, which is about our webinar today. Our next speaker is Lebogang Madise from Microsoft. Lebogang, a very good morning. The floor is yours.
Good morning, and thank you so much for welcoming me here. I'm happy to be part of the speaker lineup today, and I'm about to share my screen. Please just let me know as soon as you can see it. Okay, so my talk today is on leading with intelligent apps. My name is Lebogang Madise. As introduced, I am Azure Go-to-Market Manager at Microsoft, specifically under the digital and app innovation business. And I know today when people are thinking intelligent apps, what's top of mind for them is AI. And it's true, AI has definitely changed the way we do software, the way we interact with products, as well as the way we imagine the future digital experiences, right? A lot of you have probably used ChatGPT. I mean, in the first 5 days of its launch, it crossed 1 million users. And that was like a record. It's never been seen before on any software product launch. And that has also had a ripple effect on all industries, you know. So whether you are in manufacturing, agriculture, education, health, AI has changed the way we work as well as the solutions that we are building. So it's reshaping every industry. And the value of AI is actually projected to increase by more than 13 times. So it's evaluated to be a $15.7 trillion business by 2030. But I'm not gonna just focus on the stats. I will bring it home by showing you a local example of how one of the organizations proudly founded in South Africa have used AI for good. So a lot of today's leaders embrace cloud and mobile AI, and tomorrow's leaders, ourselves included, will unlock differentiation with AI. So apps are at the centerpiece of our digital economy, and a lot of the organizations, about 83%, say that they will increase their AI spend, right? So that they can make their apps more intelligent or adapt to their users' experiences. But you might be asking yourself, what are intelligent apps? What makes an app intelligent, right? So we've got a couple of examples, chatbots and co-pilots being infused in normal apps, making them intelligent. The introduction of Microsoft 365 Copilot is going to change our experience of all the word processing applications that we are used to. You know, whether it's doing your email on Outlook, you'll be able to kickstart it with Copilot, whether it's a fresh email or even replying to an email that you would have received. If you're making a presentation, you could also use the power of AI to bring that presentation to life, right? So these are just some examples, but it goes beyond you using the AI in the applications that are already developed. Today, we are also empowering you to use our technology to actually infuse AI in your applications. So when we talk about intelligent apps, we're talking about shifting left with security and also modernizing our apps. So a modern app today makes use of microservices architecture like containers, and they also might have a DevOps practice in place, right? And when you are shifting towards an intelligent app, you're now infusing natural language interaction. So as you can see, some websites these days have a lot of bots that one can interact with. You are infusing data-driven and personalized experiences that can improve over time. And you are also quickly able to deliver new features to your customers. So things to consider when building with AI. We've got 6 core principles of responsible AI that we've documented, and we also encourage people who are intending of using AI in their applications to make use of. So that is privacy and security. So not just of your organization, but of your customers or potential users of your products. You know, protect them from themselves as well. Inclusiveness. accountability, transparency, fairness, reliability, and safety. So we've got a white paper as well as an ebook on these responsible AI principles, as well as a deep dive on how you can apply them in your application. And we also have prompting with frameworks or software development kits to help you get started today in infusing AI in your software development lifecycle. We are also encouraging developers to deploy with resiliency and scale in mind. I mean, we've just had Black Friday. I'm not a big shopper, so I wasn't really affected, but a lot of the time, people discover whether their applications are built for resiliency and scale when it's Black Friday, meaning you've got an increase in load of the amount of people trying to use your application, but maybe your application is not built to be able to handle that. So we've got a couple of services that you are able to use to help mitigate that risk and be able to anticipate where in your application it will break in the event of high load. So one of those services is Azure load testing. Before I digress, to the business managers who have joined the call and are wondering how can they drive meaningful business value with intelligent apps. Well, one of the ways is delighting your customers, right? People love stuff that works. So if you can decrease your customer support tickets by 40%, it means you are increasing customer satisfaction. So a lot of the issues can be solved with AI by enabling customers to be able to maybe self-help themselves on your website by possibly interacting with an intelligent bot. You can also deliver new products that deepen customer engagement. So if your organization, let's say you work for a retail company and you are collecting data of your customers, you can actually start learning about the trends and be able to, tell what's next or be able to influence, what your customers might want next just by being able to analyze the behavior. And this will also enable you to get to the market faster, right? You can also amplify your employee capabilities and empower your developers to innovate. So I spoke about the M365 Copilot that is embedded in all Microsoft Office applications, but we also have GitHub Copilot that is meant to accelerate developer productivity from day one. You are empowered to scale your business and reduce risk with future-ready technology. So one of the technologies that we have is known as DependerBot. So it is a security bot that is available under GitHub Advanced Security. What it does is that it would monitor your code repositories and check if there are any vulnerabilities or secrets that may have been leaked by mistake by your developers, and flag that to you so that you can be able to remedy that. And what I also love is that it's not only flagging the issues, the security vulnerabilities, it's also giving you a possible solution that you can accept with just a click of a button. So with mitigating risk, both for your business and for your customers, we will see, an increase in going to market, as well as your uptime, making sure that your solutions never crash. So back to that proudly South African example that I promised you. We've got an organization known as Peace Parks. It's a non-profit organization, and they are leading the rhino protection program across the rhino horn value chain, so that is from South Africa all the way to China, which is where the rhino horns are mostly in demand. So some of you may know this, but South Africa is home to approximately 80% of the world's wild rhino, right? So it is our responsibility to also protect them, because once they become extinct here, it means they become extinct throughout the world. It's estimated that 5,000 black rhino and less than 20,000 white rhino are remaining today. So previously, you and me lost about 1,215 rhino due to poaching. Rhino poaching has decreased by 1,028 in 2017, thanks to this rhino protection program. The amount of hectares that are covered by one park is about 96,000. I know it might be hard for you to imagine how big 1 hectare is, similar to myself. It's the size of a rugby field, right? And the question you might be asking is, how many law enforcement personnel do we have then to cover this 96,000 hectare of wildlife? The answer is 1, which is quite scary, right? So the introduction of AI has helped, empower these law enforcement personnel by putting a couple of IoT devices all across the nature parks. And what these devices do is that they capture images in like every few minutes. They capture images in the park to detect humans, right? Because normally, if someone is at a national park, they're not supposed to be walking around. They're supposed to be either in a car or in one of the national park cars. So if someone is walking around the park, there is a high probability that they are possibly a poacher. So the solution that the team has created is in this way. So the cameras are similar to what I've showed you in the previous slide. So what it does is all those cameras go into a database, and we also have an Azure function that actually does image processing on each of those images. And the minute, let's say, a human is detected, an alert is fired to the central CMO system with the actual image that the people can go, the law enforcement people can actually, alert the other police people on the ground to say, hey, this is where we've detected a possible situation, along with the actual map to the location. Okay. So this is really like quite an intelligent solution that they've built, and it's live and available and has helped preserve our wildlife, right? So I want to show you a couple of pictures of the detection. So this would be an image of the camera that the picture that the camera would have taken, and over here is the detection of the human as you can see in the daytime. So in the daytime, even with a human eye, you would think, maybe I can see that. But if it's in the bushes, it's a different story. I mean, I couldn't see that with the naked eye that there's a person in the bushes, right? But AI can. It can actually detect that, hey, there's a human there, right? Okay, and you might be wondering about nighttime detections. It works, right? So what it does is it does what a human eye is not able to do. So it's able to detect humans, as you can see here. Here it says it's a person, but here it even got the gender right. It says there's a man over there, and that would also fire up an alert. So this is what the alert would look like. They would get, the image, as well as a little bit of info, as well as the GPS coordinates of the of where the detection was made, and then they are able to quickly go there. So what has been achieved thanks to the Peace Park Rhino solution? It captures about 25,000 photos in the past 3 months, and it was able to detect or flag 1,280 threats, right? And it has also reduced data noise level by 95% because now they're using this AI to just process all those images. And the accuracy level of the AI today is at 96.1%. The end-to-end processing time is plus minus 2.3 minutes. So you could say it is very instantaneous. So this has enabled national parks to work very closely with police. And one of the most recent successful examples is when suspicious activity was detected on the 21st of November. This was in 2019. They were able to quickly alert the relevant park staff, and they too were also able to alert the police. And yeah, they realized that actually this was a potential rhino poacher. As you can see, they also have a weapon to actually carve down the rhino. So enough from me. I just want to play you a video from one of the park rangers on how this solution has helped them.
Convened Park is a special park. It's known as the birthplace of the rhino. It's from here most of the white rhino populations actually originates. In recent years, the organized crime has infiltrated conservation, coming in and poaching rhino. Last year was 769 animals killed. That's over 2 animals a day. Peace Parks Foundation, we work together towards a common goal, combating wildlife crime and trafficking within Southern Africa.
If we don't have technology that can support us, I promise you, the rhino will decline. The park's got 96,000 hectares. You cannot identify exactly the direction these people are going to use. Even yesterday, we lose 2 rhino. That's a problem. So from my heart, I need to make sure that I'm fighting the rhino poaching. If you touch rhino, you touch me.
Rangers want to save rhino. They don't want to be technicians. And that's where we started looking at Azure and the cloud.
What we're looking for is to detect suspicious human activities on the images taken by motion-activated camera traps.
They're just a camera that takes photos as soon as something moves past it. Animals moving past, wind blowing grass around. It's taking a lot of photos that you really don't want. And you have to look at each one if you really want to catch someone. The problem with that is obviously that you can only process so many photos every day. What we're able to do with this system is that this photo is processed by a machine learning model and only sends down the relevant photos, which is humans and vehicles.
At Nerve Center, we have a reaction unit team. The reaction unit team will fly straight to that area to make sure we save this run.
Before Azure was really not scalable, Microsoft's such a massive contributor to open source. Azure really makes it easy to use Linux operating systems. Everything runs on Azure Functions and on a Postgres database.
We are using Keras-based framework with TensorFlow, SSD, neural network architecture, faster CNN, YOLO V3, and Internet. We used Azure machine learning compute with GPUs. It's very scalable. For our scenario, the latency that the model were giving us were perfect.
It's quite important to know where our data is. Now we can put that in the data centers here in South Africa. Microsoft, they are really contributing to a cause in South Africa that really makes a massive difference. It's our heritage, these animals. They've been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. We want to keep it that way.
So to conclude, I would say if you're building an intelligent app, it means you are building apps that are impactful, scalable, that can leverage the platform and harness data in ways that we've never imagined possible. You support deep integration, and you can achieve intelligence with AI. So we are encouraging you to do more with less by using the Microsoft Cloud. So thank you to everyone who's joined in the session today. If you have any questions, please feel free to share in the chat. And I apologize if I did go over time. Thank you.
Lebogang Madise from Microsoft, thank you so much for your time this morning and giving us insight into how AI is going to be infused in applications and really helping us understand what intelligent apps are and their capacity for increasing productivity, the calls to developers about resiliency and scale. But I think most importantly, that incredible example that you gave us that really rooted us in how AI can work in South Africa and the boundless potential therefrom. Thank you so much. Let's continue hearing about technology and possibilities. Tato Mangachape is a brand development director from Koitek. The virtual stage is yours, Tato.
Zinga, thank you so much for this. And I would like to thank Proudly SA for inviting me as a panelist to actually discuss how we at Koitek have incorporated technology into our business and also passed on the technology to businesses to perform better and achieve certain KPIs. But firstly, I'd like to ask the audience, how many of you actually have a smartwatch? The show of hands. I know that's impossible. Then you need an upgrade. If you have one, you need an upgrade. The reason why I'm saying that is it follows my next question. How many of you here own a local brand smartwatch? I'll wait. Still waiting. And this is exactly what we at Koitek, I see Lebogang has put up her hand. Well done to you. Hopefully that's a Koi smartwatch. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're addressing as Koitek. As a technology company based in Soweto, we've seen that the African market is riddled with foreign products, for foreign wearable tech, for foreign vehicles, foreign everything. And this is exactly what Mr. Eustace has alluded to in terms of supporting your own. We saw a gap in the market as Koitek, and we have adhered to the call by ensuring that Africans, not only South Africa, have the option of consuming local wearable technology. My name is Tato Mangachape, and I'm the brand development director for Koitek. If I could just share my screen here. So I was tasked with the title that how the use of technology can improve business. And I was quite happy to adhere to the call and the invite because it falls directly at our doorstep as a tech company. You know, technology is what we sleep, is what we breathe, and it's essentially our business. Koitek is a 100% owned tech company based in Soweto. What we offer is wearable technology and it's related software. When you talk about really wearable technology, looking at smartwatches, earphones, wearable wireless earphones, and smart glasses, you know, smart speakers, the like. So as a tech company, we've been in the tech business for quite some time, although in software and other services, we had literally adhered to the call, COVID, when we were launching our business. Firstly, the first offering that we were launching as Koitek was wireless earphones. This is after we read the financials of Apple, and we saw that the highest profiting product category was their Apple AirPods, you know, and the biggest consumers was the African market, which stunned us. That why is it that the African market is not consuming products that we make ourselves? And we found that there is no company in the African market that actually does wearable technology. That's why we're relying on foreign products, and this is what we adhere to. So we had worked on the business model of launching our wearable AfriPods, which we have named our wearable earphones. But then, unfortunately, through COVID, we had to pivot and see what is it that we can offer the market that speaks to the COVID pandemic. You know, with COVID, to actually see whether you were COVID prone or you had COVID, you had to have some of the signs, and some of them were high temperature, and also the oxygen level in your body. You know, so launching a smartwatch was a no-brainer for us, especially because we work with international OEMs. When we saw the opportunity in the market to actually launch a local brand, which we've branded the Koi AfriWatch 1 into the market that will speak to the COVID pandemic, we're quite happy. But little did we know that we're opening up a can of worms. So when we launched the product, we ensured that it has all required benefits of a smartwatch, which speaks to health and fitness, meaning that we would measure your five values, which is your heart rate, stress level, temperature, and also SpO2. We also measure our products as measure your sleeping quality, and also it's got 12 sports modes, which is essentially what smartwatches are essentially doing. But we're glad to say that at this time we are the only local offering when it comes to wearable technology, and we're quite happy as a Soweto-based and Black company to be the first ones in the sub-Saharan region to actually offer this, not only to the South African market, but to ensure that we scale the products all the way through to the African market. We're sitting with a 1.4 billion market that can consume our products. And like Mr. Eustace said, there's an opportunity to create more jobs and to ensure that we contribute to the GDP. And I think it's about time we actually initiate that act that the Americans did way back. So KoiTech was actually established in 2022, and we took extensive research for 2 years, seeing what is it that the market requires. We worked with international OEMs, ensuring that we bring along quality consumer products and related software. Our purpose is just to take social entrepreneurship to the next level by bringing innovative solutions that actually move the lives of Africans forward. Our business models can be categorized in 4 categories. We do wearable technology. This speaks to health and fitness and fintech solutions. Employee wellness programs by incorporating our technology and devices. What we like to say in the companies that we sprinkle a bit of tech in employee wellness. We also offer services for big data management and customized solutions that use our products and services. So our ecosystem is actually built by 3 products, and not limited to the 3 products, which is our smartwatch product category, which we have the Koi AfriWatch 1, the Koi AfriWatch 2, and the Koi AfriWatch 3. Our smart glasses, which is the Koi smart glasses, they actually take the capabilities of this particular product is that the product can take videos up to 64 gig storage, and it takes cameras, actually steals pictures, sorry about that, and it's music on the go, and it's Bluetooth calling. So you've got an excellent device right in front of you, which gives you a POV point of view of what you see, and so that gets stored on the device itself. And we've got our wireless earphones category, which is the AFI pods and AFI buds. But in this particular presentation, I'm going to be focusing on our smartwatches, because these products are currently in the market through our retail partners, Macro, One Day Only, and Telkom stores nationwide. And these particular products actually have enabled us to extend our service offering, and not only as a wearable tech consumer product provider, but also as a data management solutions provider. So I'm going to zone into the 3 smartwatches that we currently have, which is the AfriWatch 1, which is focused on health and fitness. It manages your 5 vitals, as mentioned, your stress level, sleeping patterns, heart rate, heart rate, temperature, and also SpO2, which is the level of oxygen in your blood, and also tracks your daily activity for ones who like walking. You have your fitness goals, you do your 10,000 steps. It links directly to third-party sources that can link directly to your discovery or vitality points. We don't have a relationship with Vitality right now, but it's soon going to be concluded in the early stages of next year, which is something amazing for us. And also we have the AfriWatch 2, which is mainly focused on health. The only difference with it's quite similar to the AfriWatch 1, but it has 6 vitals, which includes blood pressure reading and also daily tracking, and which is essentially ideal for doctor to patient remote monitoring. And this is where we come in, and the topic actually speaks to what we offer to the market and how do you actually use technology in your business. And we offer a special service to medical practitioners, where they can do remote monitoring for patients. Our platform allows doctors to get access to vitals. That is the data that is mined from our devices, and doctors can essentially remote monitor or prescribe medication to patients remotely, which speaks to traveling costs, which speaks to ensuring that you get access to cheaper medical practitioners or cheaper healthcare. So then we've got our AfriWatch 3, which is a 4G communicator. It has 2-way communication, has GPS, and also has an alert system, SOS. So our target audience for these particular devices is consumers, direct consumers, corporates, sports teams, medical practitioners, as mentioned, government departments, unions, mines, and also medical aids. So what we did as, okay, let me go further. So in the next slide, I'm just going to zone in on the AfriWatch 3, because it is a very cool device, and it is something to look out for. It has been stirring up a lot of emotion and attraction to some of the potential clients that we've been speaking to. So what sets us apart, which is a question that we get a lot of times, what sets you apart from all these products that are on actually in the market? You're looking at your Apple, your Samsungs, and all the other guys. We offer a special platform which we call the Koi Health and Fitness app, which is something I'm going to touch on further after I actually show you what are the capabilities of our AfriWatch 3. So the AfriWatch 3 has an emergency fall detect, meaning that when the user falls due to any abnormality, or they've got some kind of issue with their health, they fall and there's nobody to help them, what the watch does is it prompts you to say whether you're okay. It gives you a time of 30 seconds, and it prompts you to whether say you're okay or not. If you don't press the I'm okay button, it automatically dials out to an emergency number that you have preset as an emergency contact, which could be your employer or it can be a family member. It was also a very cool feature, which is a geofencing, which is technology that is normally found in vehicle tracking. So with geofencing initially means that let's take a scenario where you have an adult or elderly person in your home who has dementia and you don't want them to go wandering and getting lost. So you literally draw a geofence around your home, and when that person crosses the geofence, you automatically get an alert. You actually get a call, get an alert on your app, and it calls out to you. And you also get this very cool feature for kids as well. If you can draw a geofence around the school, and when your child crosses a particular perimeter, it actually alerts you as a parent, so you know where your family is from the app. And this is some of the features that we've incorporated in this very cool device, which is the Apple Watch 3. It has two-way communication, as mentioned, so it incorporates a SIM card whereby you can call in and call out, receive calls as well. And it has a health feature, which is an oximeter, which enables for accurate remote doctor-to-patient monitoring. Doctors love this feature because when we were chatting to them with regards to what is the information that they're looking for, what we've seen is that when you are sick and you go into the practice room, the first thing that doctors do is that they read your vitals. And the problem that doctors do have is that they don't have historical data when it comes to your health data. So with our platform, with our device, we enable the medical practitioners to have historical data and also ensure that they get accurate data when it comes to remote health monitoring. And the reason why I'm saying accurate data, because we've taken our devices through a lot of tests. We're in partnership with a medical suite in Vilakazi called Vilakazi Medical Suits, headed by Dr. Amos Collins. And we've tested our devices. We actually did a POC. We took the staff members, 13 participants, gave them our devices, FWatch 1, FWatch 2, blood pressure, temperature, SpO2. So what they would do every morning is that they'd have the watch with them, come in every morning and test the readings against their medically certified equipment, which you find at any clinic or any hospital or any practitioner. And over a period of 3 months, we've seen that when the stats came back, we saw that our devices are sitting at a 94 to 97% accuracy, which is a distinction pass mark, for us, and we're quite happy. But because we wanted to take it a step further, we actually got the data independently audited, and the auditor came to us and said, you guys are sitting on a gold mine here, because the data is sitting at 98 and almost 100% accuracy, which we were quite happy for us, which enables us to actually speak to the Medical Aid Council and see if we can push our product through them, and ensuring that the products can be registered as medical devices and can be bought via medical aid through your pharmacies, LinkedIn, linked pharmacies, and the likes of. So this is what I was actually speaking about the Koi Health Fitness Group app. The Koi Health Fitness Group actually enables users, which would be an employer or sports team or government department or union. What they would do is actually purchase the devices for the employees and have access to the group app, which links multiple devices and enables you to get alerts. This I just want to bring this up. This is not a monitoring device. This is not also a tracking device. We don't recommend that you monitor or track your employees, but it is more of an alert system. In this day of remote working from home, it is quite pivotal. You find employees that fall, actually die at home and nobody knows about them. And with our functionalities and the capabilities of having fault detect and having our products call out to the next of kin or the emergency contact, it actually speaks to this, So once we get any adverse reading using the FWatch 1 or 2 of any abnormality, there's an alert on the app, and it enables the employer or the team manager to actually have early intervention, and ensure that you can save that particular individual's lives. When you have an abnormality, maybe a low heart rate or a high heart rate, you are you're in line to get a stroke or heart attack, which means that you're bound to meet your maker. So we ensure that we decrease that meeting, ensure that we have early intervention, ensure that employees or managers can ensure the health and safety of the members or employees. So with the group app, you get stats, you get easy to reach dashboards, and it's easy for you to compare statistics. We were actually approached by the Proteas before they actually went to the World Cup, and they said, they love the sleep monitoring capabilities of our product. And what is it? So they essentially said, we would like to monitor the sleeping patterns of our players, because if you get a good night's rest, you're sure to perform very well, especially when you're an athlete or you're in sports. You're bound to perform very well if you get a good night's rest. Clearly they didn't have a good night's rest for the semi-final. But our particular product ensures that you get the right stats and you can have early intervention, and you can actually use that data for your benefit and for the corporate's benefit. So with our product, with the group app, what you can get from it, you get the data that you get, you have the ability, or outcomes can be customer profiling, programs for employees, statistics which we would like to, when we speak to our partners, ensure that we get the stats which would enable us to commercialize it, which which actually gives us some kind of comfort that our business can be future-proof, through the commercialization of the data. I think I need to speak to Lebogang so that we can get that future-ready tech into our system. So we've seen a lot of companies like Nokia, Motorola, they've brought upon devices, but they slowly phased out of the market, and we don't want to become one of those stats. But how do you remain relevant if your products are suddenly out of the market? So data has become the new gold. Pound for pound data is quite important. Data is the new gold, and then actually how you commercialize it means that you're adding value to the market. It means that as a business, your bottom line is met and it's money in your pocket. Outcomes that doctor to patient remote monitoring, it enables that, and also personalized customer experience, especially when you look at the medical age fraternity. If I think Discovery has a beautiful model when it comes to that. The more you exercise, the more you're healthy, you get benefits, and this is where we come in as a company. So we have this beautiful data, we have this beautiful app, and we were sitting back and saying, okay, how do we bring it to market? Yes, we've set ourselves apart from the other devices, or Samsungs and the likes of. How do we set ourselves apart? Because our challenge is that our customers or the market don't have trust in the product. They don't have trust in it's a tech product, black guys from Soweto, and you're competing against these people. What sets you apart? And this is exactly what we've done. We saw that the B2C market is going to be rather a challenge, but let's create a niche market for ourselves, that will set us apart, and we like the challenge. So we did our research and said, how can we find a niche market? And we came across a policy, which is the ESG policy. And essentially what the ESG policy is, according to Wikipedia, is that it's a set of aspects considered when investing in companies that recommends taking environmental issues, social issues, and corporate governance issues into account. Essentially, in layman's terms, this is a grading system. Allows it actually puts companies into a position whereby if they incorporated the ESG policy, it'll be easier for them to do business on a global scale. So we zoned into that because it was rather interesting for us to see how can we capitalize on this. And the big question is that how can technology be incorporated to meet these criteria? So the three pillars of the ESG policy is that it is environmental governance, social governance, and corporate governance. So we went through all these pillars, and for companies that are in the renewable energy, look at the environmental. So that these are essentially guidelines. You're looking for renewable fuels, greenhouse gas, energy efficiency, climate risk. So if you are a company into that space, zone into such policies for companies, speak to them according to these policies. I know a lot of South African companies have not incorporated the ESG policy yet. It's fairly new in the market. The global market actually introduced it about 2 to 3 years ago. But your leading industries like I see Mr. Sipo has a hand up there. Can I quickly finish on this slide, then I can take the question, Mr. Sipo? Then, so as Aquatic, we offer a wellness program, and we zone into social governance. And we saw under social governance, we have guidelines like health and safety, working conditions, employee benefits, diversity and inclusion, human rights, impact on local communities. Beautiful stuff. How can we take advantage of it? So we zoned in even more when it comes to health and safety, employee benefits. We saw that companies, for them to meet a certain criteria, they had to incorporate technology into meeting these criteria. And this is where, as a company, we found our niche market. This is where we created. This is where our baby is essentially flourishing in the wellness space, whereby we are selling our products and services in this space. We are selling our products and our services according to the social governance policy. And we come in there and we tell big players that your ESG policy speaks to this, and we have a solution for you. And this is what has actually set us apart from all these other players from a B2C perspective, into focusing more on a B2B perspective. And as a company, this is where we have actually established a footprint in incorporating technology into businesses. Yes, Mr. Super, I can take a question now.
No, sorry, that wasn't. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, my apologies, Tato. Can I ask that we wrap up? We just have another 45 minutes. So when it comes to the webinar, we've got 2 more presentations.
All right, then. Yeah, I'm just going to be quick, just 2 more slides. So our strategic partners, Proudly SA, good partner with us, access to market, marketing our products, and the brand ourselves. Telkom has been our seed funder from day one. We also, I'm proud to say that we've launched our product into all Telkom stores. So go to your nearest Telkom store and you'll find our products there. We've got Inside Active, which is part of the Life Health Solution, which they do corporate, gym, and private residential management. So our products are You can find our products in those gyms. One Day Only is our e-commerce platform. Macro Online, also our e-commerce platform. Vilagazi Health, they assist us with our stats. And FinTech Association of South Africa enables us to actually speak to the FinTech Association, enable that our products are able to do cardless payments and access control and the likes of. And that is our service as Koi Tech. And thank you. You can follow us on the photo handle, Koi.Africa, with the hashtag Enhance Your Life.
Thank you so much, Tato Mangwegape, the Brand Development Director from Koi Tech. Incredible hearing about a proudly South African smartwatch that provides innovative solutions to move Africans forward, and the very practical way that the watch works for young people, old people, whether in a work context or a personal one as well. Very excited to hear about that. And I know a 71-year-old who is related to me who may be getting one of those soon. Let's then go to Mr. from Google. He is Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager. A very good morning to you, Mr. Mtombeni. The floor is yours.
Good morning. Apologies about that, Tato. I don't know how to use this platform. We use Google Meets. So next time, guys, you know what to use. All right. So yes, my name is Sipho Mtombeni. I am from Google. I'm Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager there. Today I'm going to really talk about how we can leverage AI and cloud, especially to unlock economic opportunity when you're talking about business. And I think a lot of us can agree that digital transformation has been a driver for a lot of economic development across a lot of emerging markets. This is a framework that we believe in quite well at Google, that we've developed what we refer to as our Digital Sprinters framework. The Digital Sprinters framework is based on 4 pillars. And it really says that if nations, including governments, business, and society, were to do these 4 things, this is what would drive them emerging economies ahead of even the now evolved economies. The first one really is around kind of infrastructure and building, making sure that physical capacity is in place. This is, again, making sure that there's things like making sure there's internet access, that there's infrastructure that it allows for digital transformation and digital, the economy to be able to thrive and to move through. The second one really relates to developing human capital and making sure that we equip people in our economies with the relevant skills to allow them to be able to participate in this digital economy, and making sure really that the talent and the skills that are necessary are in place. The third one really talks about enabling technology use. And this, again, is around adopting issues and emerging technologies like AI, which I will speak into a little bit more. And the last one really talks about enhancing competitiveness. And this one relates a lot more on kind of the policy side of what government does. For instance, adopting a cloud-first policy, implementing policies that allows for kind of data privacy, etc. But make sure that South Africa remains a competitive area and country. Now, right now, we're at the inflection point where, for the past couple of years, digital transformation has been the driver. And I think for the last couple of months, or at least years, AI has been one of those, that part or one of those pillars for digital transformation taking place. And this is where we now talk about the AI opportunity. We've recently seen a study published by, that we had commissioned by Access Partnership, where they found that the AI possibility will bring Africa about $136 billion of economic gains by 2030, if we are able to kind of take it and use it well. Further to this, they found in their study that with Africa growing, we are about to have the largest working age population by 2040. And by 2050, this number would reach a third of the world's working population. Again, so if we are able to use the AI opportunity, it means Africa and South Africa, by extension, will be the best place to be the place to provide services, to be the one to be providing services to the rest of the world. Obviously, AI, and I think a lot of things that we've noted is that a lot of challenges come with it, but we also want to talk about the opportunities. We've seen that AI is enabling human capacity in that it's meant to be complementary. So this is how we see it. I know there's been a lot of talk about how AI is going to take over jobs and it's going to take over some of the functions that we're doing. We do note, obviously, yes, there will be some pivot in terms of how we work as humans and how we do business as humans because of AI. But we want to see it at Google. We see it more as a complementary role to human capital, and that some of the tasks that AI can do would be there that would be taken over from human, but there are specific tasks that would not be taken. Now, we do note again that with AI and the use of AI, obviously it provides improvement in relation to kind of statistical analysis into computing power and making sure that we're able to make use of large data sets. We've also noted that kind of the adoption of AI has been driven by how it has rapidly dropped costs in terms of performing tasks. And also it has been more accessible because of the user-friendly interfaces that has been found. And again, here, this is where we're talking about kind of our cloud-based AI services. And we've noted how the use of this, especially by small and medium businesses, has enabled them to kind of improve their businesses. And this is, again, what I'm here to tell you is kind of just how and why to make use of kind of cloud-based AI services to drive business in this regard. So just to introduce you a bit to Google Cloud, I know a lot of people are not familiar with it, but really we have a number of data centers across the world. These, again, linked with our subsea cable, the investments that we've made. The most recent one in South Africa being the Equiano subsea cable, which landed in Cape Town last year. Again, this is kind of just a network, our global network that we have of Google Cloud operations. And this map, I just wanted to show you that, for instance, we will be having the first African global cloud region that will be launched in Johannesburg next year. I think it's in Q1 of next year, again, which will improve the accessibility of cloud services, Google Cloud services in the country and on the continent, just as an overview. But the reason why I want to talk to you about cloud really is just what I refer to as the ilities and the reason why the ilities are important. So cloud drives affordability, scalability, usability, resiliency, security, manageability, collaborative ability, and user centricity. And we've noted that when you make use of the cloud computing, for instance, I think a lot of people get stuck at just step one, where it's just used for computing and for storage. But we've noted that, I mean, with the functionalities that we've been able to introduce around security, collaboration, analytics, and also the AI functionalities, it drives value for a user, especially any business user that will be using a cloud platform like ours. Now, just to go into about how kind of citizens, as us as users, individuals, but also enterprises and businesses can make use of AI and cloud. We understand that the needs are different from when I'm thinking about myself as a person, as a consumer, versus when we're talking about an enterprise or a business. So us as users really are interested in more kind of day-to-day functionalities. You want to be able to search, you want to be able to generate content. And with the accessibility of generative tools such as Bard that we have from Google, you are able to make use of these tools for day-to-day functionalities, day-to-day things. Create me a poem is one of the things. We obviously do not suggest that you use it, and as in some of the ways that has been seen by people trying to create speeches and do other things, but things that are kind of within the right use of those. But when you think about AI for a business, the functionalities and the needs become a bit more complex, right? Now you're thinking around how do I deal with fraud and security? How do I control my costs? You want to understand how your operations can be used and improved in that regard. And at Google, we've got tools, of course, to be able to assist both for the consumers, but also for enterprises through our Vertex AI and Duet AI offerings. So with our Vertex AI, for instance, we are able to put in AI solutions into your business and integrate them. For instance, if you're trying to see how your logistics business, for instance, is working, what are the areas that you could improve on in terms of reducing costs, etc. Our teams are able to come in, build this bespoke tools with you, and be able to kind of give you that functionality that was going to be able to practically give you a solution that's going to be able to, if, for instance, your question is, how do I cut down on my costs, or how do I cut down on turnaround times, for instance, if that's one of the questions. We've been able to build some of these tools and these solutions for industries across. With our Duet AI, for instance, then Duet AI is our tool that, again, is also a generative tool that is built into our workspace suite. So with that, you are able to start a document, reply to email, and have the tool, the AI tool there to assist you. Again, the AI tool should not be the one that's responding for you, but it just does assist you in terms of putting together a draft of what your email response would be, or what a report or a document would be, based on your inputs, of course. And also you would still have to kind of review and have final say and input into what that does. So these are just some of the tools that we know are accessible and are available for businesses and should be used by businesses to assist them. Here, I just wanted to just highlight a program that we have for startup businesses. So we have our Google for Startups cloud program. This program really allows startup businesses to be able to go through a program of training, mentorship, etc., to be able to understand how best to use their cloud services, our cloud services, to run and help them through their business. Through the program, they're able to get some financial assistance and get some cloud credits to kind of just start them off. I know a lot of businesses, when you talk about cloud, they're still skeptical about what it is, how do I use it. This program is going to help them go through those baby steps in terms of how best to use it in their business. Again, just to talk about some of the sectors that we have seen application of cloud and AI, customer support, of course, tech, financial services, healthcare, retail, and media and gaming. And of course, the applications would be different dependent on the needs of the industry or the entity that we are working with. But these are just some of the areas. There are obviously more. Application for AI is broad. You will find it in agriculture. You can find it in textiles, etc., and in a lot of other areas, manufacturing, where it would be applicable as well. Now, just I know a lot of times when we're talking about AI and cloud, for instance, a lot of things that people question about is kind of how safe is it? Can I actually use it? And one of the things that we had been driven by from our the statement from our CEO is that we should be bold but responsible in our approach to AI. And I just wanted to highlight just some of the things of how we are using AI responsibly. And just to take you through an overview of our AI principles, in terms of how we are, as Google, applying AI into our tools, as I've spoken about. So the 7 principles there are on kind of being socially beneficial, avoid creating unfair biases, must be tested for safety, must be accountable to people, must have privacy designed into it, high standards of scientific excellence, must also be made available in accordance with those 4 principles. The things that we will not do is make sure is ensure that if anything that may cause harm overall, or cause any direct injury, violates any surveillance norms, and also contravenes international laws of human rights. So you might see in some of the projects that we do specifically, for instance, at Google, in terms of how we as a business apply AI, our focus really is on research that is going to be socially beneficial. So we do things, for instance, about using AI models to predict weather, so that we are able to predict floods, for instance, and be able to warn authorities where a flood may occur, so that we minimize the harm to human and to property in that regard. So I've highlighted here just some of the challenges that we've heard from users, especially our business users, in terms of cloud. their concerns that they have, and how we are trying to then to mitigate those. So I think some of these are normal suspects around security, privacy, etc., biases, transparency and accountability. And really for us, we're trying to make sure that we are very compliant. So I'm glad that Tato took you through what the ESG commitments are, or what the policies are around ESG, because that's something that we as a business also comply with, or kind of abide by. We make sure that we, in our contractual commitments, we are addressing some of these concerns, but have things like when we design our products, security and privacy are there by default, and however we deploy it, it's going to be with security and privacy at the forefront. But also issues around kind of human rights and biases, etc., are addressed through our responsible AI principles, which I've just taken you through. Now, just through everything I've spoken to, I think I wanted to just again take you back to what are some of the things, why cloud, for instance, is important in terms of our business and how to use it. Again, affordability, scalability, usability, resiliency, security, manageability, collaborative ability, and user centricity. Again, with this use of computing power to drive AI and machine learning, this is how you're able to drive that value for your business and for your customers. And I think with that, I am done.
Thank you so much for taking us through quite practical aspects, the holistic view on AI and opportunities, then your products for both the consumer-facing side and enterprises as well. But I think very importantly, demystifying certain aspects, and especially on that safety. I love that you said, as Google, you thought about being both bold but also responsible, because there is a lot of concern about the power of AI. Can I please ask then Ms. Mkunu to make her way to the stage, the virtual stage? She's from the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies.
Thank you, Zinga. Can you confirm if you can hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Good morning, and thank you. Is it still morning? Yes, it is. And thank you for this opportunity and the introduction. As mentioned, I'm from the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies. So in my presentation, I'll just go through basically the initiatives, like digital transformation initiatives that we're currently doing as the department. So if I can just share my screen, and then you can just confirm on your side if you can see my presentation.
We can see you. We can see you.
Okay. Okay, and the presentation, can you see it now? Can you see my screen, Zinga?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, thank you so much. So like I said earlier on, and also like in our strategic documents, I also just highlight the role of government and also the initiatives that are currently taking place in also aligning with the 4IR inclusion for business. So I felt that also I can just touch on the vision, the mission, and the mandate of the department, just trying to link this to today's conversation. So as the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, and I'll also refer to this as DCD team, our vision as a department is being a leader in enabling a connected and digitally transformed South Africa. And then on our mission also, it links to leading the country in inclusive digital transformation journey through creating an enabling environment. And then lastly, our mandate is also to lead the country to lead the country's digital transformation, to achieve digital inclusion, and also which will result to the economic growth. And I think it's you can really just see from the vision, the mission, and the mandate of our department on what our role is when it comes to the digital transformation journey for the country. And also like our focus that comes quite clear in the impact statement on really having a digital enabled citizen and then also just focusing on a secure universal access and as well as affordable universal access. So there are two documents that we look at when it comes to digital transformation in DCDT. The first one being the Digital Economy Master Plan of 2021. This one really, I think it quite links nicely to the conversations that we've had this morning. It looks at fiscal technologies production, the transformative tech, and the digital platforms and digitally traded services, which really indicate that these will be actually already are the major disruptors in the industry, as we see how really the technology has shaped currently our way. And then also the second document that we look at is the P4R strategic implementation plan. So this one, it stems from the Presidential Commission on 4R report, which was gazetted in 2020. The strategic implementation plan then looks at or it outlines the implementation initiatives that really respond to the P4R recommendations. And I'll touch on this later on what these recommendations are. So on the digital economy master plan, so this document really looks at just there, if you look at the vision, it looks at how the digitally empowering citizens in the country so that they are able to really participate on opportunities that drive digital inclusiveness. And then also on the objectives, we're looking at the inclusive growth. They focusing on the fact that there estimates that the digital economy will contribute to the GDP up to 4.5%. So this actually just highlights how the digital economy is becoming more and more of importance for the country. And then on the second objective there on job creation, so that's around the job opportunities that will be created by the digital economy. Earlier on, the CEO talked about the 7.8 million people that are currently out of jobs that are supposed to be in jobs. So I think if our focus on the digital economy will then help us to unlock these job opportunities that can actually help to place these people that are outside of work. And then on transformation, this objective really focuses on SMME opportunities. So I actually quite also enjoyed the presentation earlier on by Tato on their wearable devices. So this speaks to SMME opportunities. And I mean, I think Tato's story is one of the stories that actually just highlight on how these opportunities can actually help businesses. So there we're looking at, I mean, the studies indicate that there's about 2.8 million opportunities for SMMEs in the next 10 years in the digital economy. So I think also our work needs to speak to creating an enabling environment for these opportunities for the citizens of our country. Then the second document, which we also talked about earlier on, which is the P4R strategic implementation plan. I think also here what's becoming clear in the vision is that of inclusiveness and also having a shared economy, which is technological, with the technological capability, and also at the center of it all, this is driven by people. So Sipho earlier on just touched on their toward AI and how AI actually helps people, you know. So I think that speaks to this being driven by people and in this technological transformation era where people also need to focus on people really driving this era. And on the recommendations that I think are linking quite nice to our conversation today on digital inclusion, there are four recommendations. The first one being on the investment in human capital. So I think here it really speaks to skilling and the upskilling opportunities that are brought by the digital economy. So there's been a national skills and future of work strategy that was developed by the department, and that has really translated to the skills and future skills strategy. Conference series, sorry about that, a series that started in 2022, and also another one that was in East London this year in 2023. So these series are really more about creating an environment where we're able to have discussions on how the private sector and government need to partner in skilling of our citizens to ensure that we have the right skills for the need that comes with the digital economy. And then also on the building of 4IR infrastructure, so we have initiatives like the SA Connect, which really focuses on connectivity for schools, connectivity for homes, and also connectivity for public sector areas. And I think this also translates to the connectivity to businesses. And our focus there also, it's just around ensuring that everyone is connected, and then they're able to access these platforms, where now we're seeing a business, as the CEO touched on earlier on, where we're seeing more and more businesses moving to online stores. And then also we have the National Rapid Deployment Policy, which was gazetted this year in March. So that one, it really looks at how can we provide a process of deployment of communications networks into for properties in the sector, and that focuses on way lives as well. And then there's also the next gen spectrum policy. So this policy really translated to last year the auctioning of the spectrum, which now also enable the use of advanced technologies, so the likes of your 5G deployment connectivity, which really actually sort of like it seeks to meet the demand of these advanced technologies. And then on the third recommendation, which looks at the review, the amendment of policy and legislations. So also what is becoming clear is that some of our policies, they don't really promote the use of the advanced technologies. So then there is quite a need to look into policies and legislation to ensure that they get amended to meet what is happening here. So, for example, with the ECA bill amendment, so that also looks into there's a fund that is referred to as the Digital Development Fund. So this one really provides on the financing opportunities that contribute to the universal digital services. So that really speaks to the fact that now we want to promote and support the universal digital services in our country. And then lastly, to secure and avail data to enable innovation. So there we're also looking at the national cloud and data policy, which also it's just on its finalization, because that really ensures that not only, the presentation just before me, which where Sipo was talking about cloud services. So we also need to have policies that promote the use of these policies, and which actually complements it and support the use of these policies within the country. And also, like he touched on, issues around ethical use of such technologies. So I think such policies, the cloud and data policies, it also just provides guideline for the country on how we work on this. And then lastly, on policies and legislation, we're currently working on the AI planning policy. So I think by next year, February, we'll be working towards the provincial consultation. And then this also really includes the consultation with business, just so that we can understand on the use of AI and also how the country should go forward in terms of this. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't take much of your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nokubalela Mtunu from the Department of Communications and Digital Technology. Thank you for sharing the potential and just reminding us in a very South African context, up to 4.5% of GDP could be made up just from the digital economy. That is such a massive opportunity. We know we've got people in this space who are ready to take up that opportunity. But I think more importantly, giving us insight into the strategic implementation plan and your AI planning policy, because it's always good to listen to the private sector and the incredible work that's being done there, but as government guiding us in terms of what's to come and how people can get involved. And that's where we leave the presentations. I'm just going to check now if we have any questions from people joining us online who want to interact with any of our speakers. If you do, please may you put it in the chat box, and we'll try for the last 16 minutes that we have on this Proudly South African webinar to have those questions answered. And while we're waiting for those questions to come in, I hope the representative from Microsoft is still with us. I just want to double check. She has left, so we're not going to go there. Perhaps Mr. Mtombeni from Google, you work with government affairs and public policy. What suggestions, if any, would you have for the department when it comes to what they need to be thinking about as they're planning their policy and planning to get everybody involved?
Sure. Yes. So, I mean, I think the basic thing is to embrace technology. I think the biggest thing that we would do ourselves and just injustice with would be to kind of be at the back end of emerging trends that are taking place now. I'm glad to hear from Mbalela that they are finalizing the data and cloud policy. I think we've been engaging quite closely with the department on this because, as I said, the benefits of cloud are quite clear. And it's only with an enabling policy environment that we'd be able to get those benefits out and be able to extract them. Similarly, with AI, I think it's important for government to move quite swiftly, because if we take another 5 years to come up with a policy or with rules or with a framework or strategy around AI as a country, we'll be left behind, because this technology is evolving quite literally every day. So I think it is just continue to do what they're doing. I think they've been quite engaging with private sector, and we've been engaging quite closely. But to continue that, but also to move quite swiftly with the pace of the technology. But also just to make sure that we're creating an enabling environment for us to be able to extract the benefits of the technology while mitigating against any of the challenges or the harms that are potentially there.
I'd like to pose the next question to Mr. Eustace Mashimbia, the CEO of Proudly South African. I mean, this is the work that you're doing even with this webinar, but just take me through the importance of making sure that private sector players are interacting with government almost every step of the way, so that there's clarity on when it comes to policy, and then the opportunities are widened beyond maybe either what the private sector can think of or the public sector.
Yeah, so the benefit we have as an organization is that we are formed through NEDLAC, where civil society, organized labor, and then both the private sector and the public sector all engage on different policy positions. And before these things even hit the public, they're deliberated on at NEDLAC robustly. And so we also have a board that gives us that benefit because it's represented by all of those sectors of society. That allows us to utilize the existence of all of these players for the benefit of our members, because then, as opposed to just being able to access procurement opportunities in the public sector only or in the private sector only, you are able to expose members to both sectors of society. In all our engagements, we try and have representation from both sides. And that has really helped, expose our companies to procurement opportunities at that level, but also from a policy perspective, have policies that talk to, what government wants to achieve by way of its objectives, as well as having the private sector contribute. There are many companies in our books who have benefited from procurement opportunities that sit on both sides, simply because of where we are sitting, as well as our ability to influence policies at public sector level, as well as procurement opportunities across both sectors. So it's very important that we play in the space that we play in the way that we are playing now, so that the beneficiaries, the companies themselves, really ultimately benefit from as much of the procurement spend that is available in the country as possible. Thanks, Nzinga.
Tato, if I can bring you back into the conversation, for an entrepreneur who's either watching in the virtual room or people who may watch this webinar later on the Proudly South African YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, now known as X pages, what would you say to them about going into a space that can be quite intimidating, especially if there are large, established international players, and owning the fact that there is something about being South African that just gives you that little impetus, or that big impetus and push to dream as big as possible?
Thank you, Zina, for the question. I think when you have a value system that is driven by desire, you go at it scared, you go at it with willingness and bravery, and when there's desire, go for it. Obviously, it can be rather scary jumping into the deep ocean, as you mentioned, but all you have to do is just swim and ensure that you have your policies checked, you've got the right team in place as well. You also only not actually relying on government funding, ensure that you also speak to other financiers that can believe in your vision, and ensure if your value system is straight and you have the desire, which is coupled with wisdom and also a knowledge of what you're doing. It's quite important. Don't just jump into something thinking, oh, I can do it. It's not like that. If you have the passion to change a certain tradition, it needs wits, desire, and a unique type of person. And we at Koitec, we actually do have that, driven by our fearless CEO, and that is Siati Moloi, who's playing in the deepest of ocean with gut, willingness, and the desire to change the industry, backed by a team that sees the value. I think we have no sky. The sky's not the limit at all. The sky's not the limit for us. So right now, I'm speaking through our smart glasses. There's the camera. I'm listening to you, and this is the technology we are building in Soweto. Thank you.
Fantastic. Ms. Nkunu, perhaps I'll come back to you. The reason that Proudly South African convened this particular webinar is to deliberate on the integration of the fourth industrial revolution in business. And I know that we've heard about the very exciting possibilities that are there, as we've just seen with Tato now, but there are also challenges in a South African context, not just about the business, but what feeds into the business. So we know that there's an infrastructure challenge. We know that there's skills challenge as well. How is government and your department thinking about that?
All right. Thank you for that question. So I think earlier on the presentation, I touched on the future skills, national future skills, skills and future skills strategy that looks at that issue, because with digital transformation, it becoming clear the need for skilling and upskilling of our people. So with that, I talked about the digital skills series that the department is running annually, and also the partnerships that we're driving with the industry to ensure that skilling opportunities are made available for the people that are in need of those opportunities. And then also on the issue around infrastructure. So some of the initiatives that we're looking at, I know earlier on I talked about the rapid deployment policy. So that is one of the policies that looks at accelerating the connectivity in our communities, because we can't really talk about the digital economy and also not have enough people that are connected in the sector. So I think in terms of infrastructure, so those are the policies, because for us as the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies is to create an enabling environment through our policies and strategies. So I think it's through that we have that. And I also touch on the spectrum auctioning that happened last year, which is also one of the initiatives that really focuses on infrastructure issues and ensuring that we have the right infrastructure for this digital era. So I think like those are some of the initiatives. And I think also I just wanted to touch on what Sipho talked about, and also Mr. Mashimba talked about in terms of consultation. So with the conversations that we continuously have with the industry through, I like the fact that Proudly SA is the member of NETLEC, and those are that is one of the stakeholder that we engage with quite a lot when we working on our policies, and also in ensuring that we align with that which is the need in the industry. And also, the different industries that we engage with in terms of skilling initiatives. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We have about 6 minutes to go. We've got a question directed to Mr. Mtombeni from Google, and in absentia, our guest from Microsoft. What available free AI tools can we use as some leverage on for all benefits mentioned? Any initiatives to help to train, including the 2-year program, and help us integrate these technologies across all business units?
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to share a link, but we have our Digital Skills Garage, where we have made available training, and this is free training on our. If you go onto Google and say Digital Skills for Africa, you should be able to visit a page there that will take you straight through to our training programs that we have for anybody really, any business, any entrepreneur who's looking to upskill themselves in terms of as basic as, and it starts as basic as kind of how do I design a website, to the principles and the fundamentals of AI and machine learning. So we have those digital skills trainings that are available. We also have what we refer to as career certificates. These ones are paid, but it's a nominal fee, it's nominal subscription fee that you will also find on that page. We've also periodically issue out trainings. So first we had our first cohort of our Google Accelerator for Startups program with AI. We ran our first one this year. We'll be running another one next year. So if you want details of that, you are welcome to reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn, or just email me on cpom@google.com. I will be happy to point you out to all of these available training programs that you could leverage on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have just a few minutes. Can I please ask each of our panelists, Mr. Mtombeni, you're still here, so I'll ask you to stay on the virtual stage, to take the last 30 seconds of their presentation to share any final thoughts with us. We'll go from Mr. Mtombeni to Mr. Mangwegape, and then Ms. Mchunu, and we'll end off with the CEO, Mr. Mashimba.
So yes, I think my message is just simple. Technology is here, AI is here. I think let us embrace it. I think one of the ways that we as South Africans are able to find a way and be a competitive country across into the world is for us to embrace the technology that is emerging now. We will obviously be doing it responsibly, as we've said, with the guidance from the department as well. But I think it is for us as individuals and individual business owners, entrepreneurs, etc., to upskill ourselves, to learn, and to be able to put ourselves in a position where we will be able to be participants in this digital economy. And thank you very much for inviting me to this conversation today.
Nzinga, firstly,
Mr. Mangwegape?
yes, here. I think I'm saying, first I'd like to say thank you so much to Proudly SA for actually offering us this opportunity. Our partnership through the Southwest year, and we've been put in platforms that we've never actually dreamed about or thought they were in the near future, you know. So, but then thank you so much to such partnerships. And I'd love to ask the panelists to offer us the opportunity to actually extend these discussions beyond this webinar, and for businesses like us to be able to participate in the market and also the free market, you know, extend our services beyond the borders. So access to finance, also access to market with departments, and let's engage, let's collaborate. Thank you so much.
Yes, I think I'm next. Again, just thank you for this opportunity and this engagement that we had today. I think also in terms of the just in wrapping in terms of the skilling, because I see that there was quite an interest on those opportunities. We have an entity called NEMISA. So if you go to NEMISA's website, there is a link, training link. Then under that link, you will see some of the courses that they offer. Some of them are 5-day courses, digital literacy, animation, and all those courses, which are opportunities that are available for people to enroll on. And I think also just really appreciating being part of this conversation, because really as government we cannot work alone. We need to continuously engage with the industry, and also just to ensure that which we come up with in terms of policies and strategies, they link to the need on the ground. And thank you so much. Bye.
Good afternoon again to everyone. I think as we've hit 12 noon. So my parting shot is really to appeal to everyone who's on the call. I mean, in line with our mandate, is to appeal to you to choose locally made software, locally made equipment, locally made products. You saw a smartwatch today. Every time you make a purchasing decision, it goes a long way in helping us, reduce unemployment, in helping grow levels of entrepreneurship in the country. Because if you think of developed economies, they're really built on the back of SMMEs. 90% of the contribution to those economies is made by small and micro and medium businesses. And so our request is again to you as entrepreneurs to also do the same. You want people to buy from you, so do the same. We're looking for solutions, looking for technology, buy from those that supplying it within the borders of South Africa, especially where it comes and originates from South Africa. So thank you very much. Let us build a country together. Thank you, Nzinga.
Thank you very much to all our panelists and our audience. It's been such a pleasure and a privilege hosting this discussion, moderating it, and that's where we leave it for now. Good afternoon.